Life hadn't been kind to Tony. Fresh out of university, broke, and battling a streak of bad luck, he was just trying to survive in a world that seemed determined to knock him down. From failed job interviews to unexpected downpours and a TV that literally went up in smoke, Tony's day felt like a never-ending comedy of errors. But just when he thought things couldn't get any worse, a chance encounter with an old friend changed everything. Caught in the rain with no shelter in sight, Tony ran back to the office he had just left, banging on the gate. But no one opened up. Frustrated and soaked to the bone, he walked for what felt like forever until he found a small kiosk. The owner allowed him to take shelter, but just as Tony settled in, the rain stopped abruptly. "Are you kidding me?" Tony muttered, looking up at the sky. "You're just mean." Hungry and desperate, Tony walked to the old woman who fried a cara down the street. She enjoyed his company, and if he indulged her long enough, she'd let him have some on credit. But tonight, as he reached into his pocket, he found a crumpled 1,000 naira note. His luck was finally turning. He strutted up to the akara lady, placed his order, and for the first time in weeks, felt a glimmer of hope. Just as Tony was about to enjoy his akara, a car pulled up behind him. A familiar voice called out, "Impish thoughts." It was Benga, his old university buddy. Benga, now driving a sleek Mercedes G-Wagon, greeted Tony with a bear hug. "Damn, it's good to see you, bro," he yelled. Tony couldn't believe his eyes, or his luck. Benga offered Tony a ride, and during the short drive, they caught up on old times. Tony didn't hide his struggles, and Benga, true to form, offered him a job, no questions asked. "Tony, you were and still are one of my best buds. I'm going to give you a job," Benga said. Tony was stunned. For the first time in a long time, he felt like his luck was finally changing. As Tony was about to get out of the car, Benga handed him a wad of 500 naira notes. "Consider this an advance on your first salary," he said with a wink. Tony stood there stunned as Benga drove off. He looked at the money in his hand, then at the Accra in the other. "Screw Accra tonight," Tony said with a grin. "Tony is eating out." Tony walked back into his apartment, the electricity miraculously restored. He smiled and looked up. "Maybe you don't suck so much after all," he said to the universe. For the first time in a long time, Tony felt like things were finally looking up. But little did he know, this was just the beginning of a journey that would change his life forever.